In this video, I'm going to show you the basics of searching our main library search box, which is sometimes referred to as Summon, which will search most of the St. Kate's Library resources, including books, journals, journal articles, things like that. And then we will also search a specific database called Academic Search Premier, using some of the techniques that we learned about in the search strategies video that you may have just watched. So just to kind of quickly recap what we talked about, what was talked about in the search strategies video, you really want to take your topic and kind of break it down into its separate concepts and really think of any synonyms or related terms that could be used to describe that concept, because most databases take you very literally. They're just searching for the exact keywords that you type into the search box. So that's why it's important to think of those related terms or synonyms. So using the topic that was kind of discussed in our search strategies video, our topic being what effect does the media have on teenage girls' body image? So I kind of listed out our main concepts. So we have media, teenage, girls, and body image. And then I try to think of some related terms or synonyms. So for media, we could say television, magazines, or movies. Teenage, another way to describe that is adolescent. Girls could also be described as female. And body image, we could also use the terminology self-esteem to try and get at that concept. So once you've thought of your different concepts and any synonyms or related terms, then you want to actually start to build your search strategy. And down here, just kind of like we went through in the video, there are some different strategies that you can employ. So if you do have kind of a specific words to be found together, you can put quotation marks around those. So in the example here, like capital punishment, if you wanted those two words to show up together in your search results, you could put quotation marks around that. And then just like we described in the video, using the ands and ors to really kind of build our search strategy. One thing that the video didn't cover, however, was using parentheses, and this will actually be really important when we go to search Summon or the main library search box, because you'll need to put parentheses around kind of those related or synonymous terms. So I've kind of written out our entire search strategy down here. So you can see in parentheses I've put kind of those related terms. So I've said media or television or magazines or movies. So that's all in one set of parentheses, and then combined it with and teenage or adolescent, and then and girls or female, and body image or self-esteem. So now when we put this into the main library search box, or when we go to enter this into Academic Search Premier, you're basically going to get a set of results that has to have at least one of the keywords from within each set of these parentheses. So it can be a combination of those, but it basically will have to get a set of results that have to have at least one of the words from each set of parentheses. Okay, so I'm going to go to the library homepage. So again, that's library.stkate.edu. And essentially, I'm just going to copy in or paste in my search strategy here. So if I scroll back here, you can see I have my sets of parentheses with the different synonymous terms within those parentheses connected with and there. So this main library search box is going to search most of the materials in our collection, not all, but it does include not just books and journals, but also journal articles, newspaper articles, dissertations, theses, a lot of different stuff. So that's why when we hit the search box or button here, we usually end up with quite a few results. So you can see 237,000 results. So that's a lot to wade through. So there is relevancy ranking. So theoretically, more relevant things should be floating up towards the top of the result list. But this is where you're really going to want to use the filters that are on the left-hand side here to really try and narrow down to a set of results that are going to be useful for you. So some really useful ones that can be good to use. Things like if you are looking specifically for scholarly peer-reviewed articles, you can see that there are those limits available here. There's also the full text online, so if you are off campus and you really just need something that you can access kind of right here, right now, that's another really good limit that you could use. But also just going to the content type. So for instance, if we are looking for a book, let's click on book. This will obviously just limit us down to book items, and both ebooks and print books. Let's just click on the first result that we get here. Say I was interested in this book. So you'll notice you can get the kind of the basic citation information, but then what you want to pay attention to is the location. So you'll actually see that this one, you don't actually see St. Catherine University listed here under locations. We actually share our resources with most of the other ACTC schools in the Twin Cities. So even though we don't have this particular book here in our collection, you can very easily get that book, usually within about a day. So all you need to do is click on the request button. You'll enter in your name and your barcode, which is on the back of your student ID. They will pull the book from one of these other libraries, and then you'll get an email to let you know that it's arrived here at St. Kate's for you to pick up at the circulation desk. So if you place a request in the morning, you might even get the book by the afternoon. At the very latest, you'll get it the next day, unless it's over the weekend, and then it'll be here on Monday. So don't let this discourage you. If you don't see that we have it here at St. Kate's, we can still get it for you pretty quickly. So just give yourself enough time during the research process to gather the materials that you need if you do need to allow for an extra day or two to get them. If St. Kate's did own it, you'd see St. Catherine University listed. You would look at the call number, see if it was available or not, and then you'd go out to the stacks. At the end of each stack, there's a call number range to let you know what books are going to be on that shelf, and you just find it on the shelf and check it out. If it's an ebook that you are interested in, let's see if we can see one on the list here. It should be pretty easy to get a hold of. All you need to do is, you can see result number 9 here is actually one of our ebooks. All you need to do is click on Full Text Online, click on the St. Catherine Access, and you'll be able to get there. So with most of our ebooks, you're going to be able to somehow search within the full text of the book. Different platforms have different options for downloading portions of the text or the complete text. It just depends on the platform that's available through. Let's see, so some other useful limits within here. So a lot of times we're not necessarily looking for a book, but maybe we are looking for a journal article, maybe specifically a peer-reviewed article. So a lot of times instructors or professors will put limits on the types of resources you can use in your assignments, and they want you to have a certain number of peer-reviewed scholarly articles, so it's easy to kind of pare down to those. And a lot of times they might also put kind of date ranges. You can maybe only use things within the last 5 to 10 years, something like that. So you can use the publication date range down here to limit your result set. So let's say I'm looking for things within the last 5 years. So now I've taken my very large result set and narrowed it down to peer-reviewed journal articles from the last 5 years. Still get a lot, but at least it's kind of pared down to something that's a list that's going to be a little bit more useful for me. If it's a journal article that's been released within the last, I would say, 10 to 15 years, more likely than not, we're going to have online access to it, and it's very easy to get a hold of those. All you need to do is click on Full Text Online when you find an article that might be useful. So more often than not, it will just bring you directly to the journal article. Then you just look for the PDF, and you can download it onto your computer. Every once in a while, it will lead you just to the journal homepage. In that case, you're going to look for a section that says something like past issues or archives or something like that. And then you can use the citation information along the right-hand side here, including the year, the volume, the issue, and the page number, to then narrow down to try and find the actual article that you're looking for. The other nice thing about this page is that if you look down here at the export button, if you click on that, you can, if you select plain text, it'll give you different citation styles. So if you selected APA, if that's the citation style you use, you can actually grab most of the citation information. I will say that a lot of times that this information is often incomplete or incorrect in some way, but at least it does a lot of the heavy lifting for you. It's giving you most of the citation information. You're just still going to need to kind of double check it to make sure that it has the correct information in the right order, in the right format, and everything like that. But again, just to kind of keep yourself organized, it might be nice to just kind of go ahead and grab this citation information, put it into a document so that you know the resources that you are using in your research. All right, I'm going to go back to the result list. And that's about it for the main library search box. Again, it's sometimes referred to as summon. So again, this is going to give you mainly just resources that we have access to in our collection, or books and things like that that are also available through the different ACTC schools. So most of what you'll find on the result list here are going to be things that you can access quite quickly for the most part. But usually when you're doing research, you don't want to just limit yourself to items that we have available right here, right now. You also want to kind of expand your search a little bit, and that's when you want to use a subject-specific database or a kind of a general all-purpose database to kind of see what else might be out there beyond what's just in our collection. So today we're going to take a quick look at Academic Search Premier. It's kind of an all-purpose database. It includes a lot of different disciplines, so it's a nice one to start with when you're doing research. So to get to that, if you click on Articles, and then if you scroll down, we do have it listed under Favorites database, our favorite databases list. So I'm going to click on Academic Search Premier. So this is a very large database. There's quite a bit of information in here. You could just start to put in your keyword search here, with the parentheses and everything like that, like we had in our previous search in the main library search. Or I actually like to go into the advanced search screen because it just kind of gives you a little bit of extra flexibility. I'm going to take out some of this. And basically now I'm going to break up my search. We kind of put each separate concept on a different line here. So we'll start out with the media or... So we have that piece. Then we'll have female or girl, and then teenager. And you can add more lines here. And then we'll do body image or self. And you can actually see that a lot of times in many of the databases, you'll see that it's going to start to give you suggestions for other things you could start to add to your search. So again, based on what we've put in the different boxes here, it's going to bring back a set of results that basically has to have at least one of the terms from each of these boxes, because we've combined our different terms within the box with or, and then we have connected these with the Boolean operator and. So we basically had to have something from each of these lines after we hit search. So like I mentioned, Academic Search Premier is searching more than just what we have in our collection. It's primarily searching scholarly literature, but there are some things that aren't considered scholarly literature that are in here as well. But you'll see in just a second that we can use the filters to kind of narrow down to that type of material. So we'll hit the search button. All right, 216 results. So here's where using the limits along the left-hand side might be useful. So again, we can do these scholarly peer-reviewed journals. So it knocked it down to 193, not too bad. So we could also do publication date ranges, and then there are a few other filters that could be useful along the left-hand side here. So once you find one that looks like it might be useful to you, if you click on it, you'll get some additional information. You'll get kind of the basic citation information up at the top, and then you'll get to see the abstract, and that will help you kind of determine whether or not this article will actually be useful for you in the research that you're doing. Once that you've determined whether or not that will be useful for you, if you see a PDF icon, obviously just click on that, and that will get you right to the PDF. Otherwise, let's try and find one that doesn't. If you don't see a PDF icon, what you always look for in pretty much any of the databases that we subscribe to is the purple Find It link. So this is going to basically take the citation information for this particular article and search our catalog to see if we have access to it. So if you go ahead and click on Find It. Okay, so this is an example of when we don't have access to an article. So you're basically getting a sorry screen here. It says, sorry, no holdings were found for this journal. But that does not mean that you can't get a hold of this still. You'll see that there's this more options here, and it says request a copy through Interlibrary loan. This is a free service for you to use. All you need to do is click on that. The first time you use it, you'll have to fill out kind of a form with some additional information, including your library barcode, which again is on the back of your student ID. Once you do that, all you need to do is click a few buttons, and that will place a request for this article through our Interlibrary loan system. We will try and get a hold of it from another institution for you. And then that is generally delivered to you electronically, so you'll get an email letting you know to check your Interlibrary loan account. You'll be able to download the article and you'll be set. That can take a few extra days. So again, just like books that we might not have here at our library but might be at one of the other ACTC schools, you just need to work that kind of into your workflow for the research process. So giving yourself the time necessary to gather all the resources that you'll need, because generally we can get you everything that you will need for your research. It just might take a couple extra days. So just work that into your time frame and your research process. So other nice things about this particular database, if you click on the title and get the information, if we scroll over kind of to the right hand side here, just like within our other databases, if you click on the Cite button, it's going to give you, again, the citation information. But again, remember, you're going to need to double check it and make sure all the information is there and in the right format, because usually there is some piece of it that is incorrect. Remember, we do have that citing and writing section of our website that will give you information on all the major citation styles. So if you do run into questions and need to kind of double check things, we do have some easily accessible resources there. You can also email the citations to yourself. If you email it, if there does happen to be a PDF attached to the article entry, it'll even email you the PDF. So that's another nice way to try and keep yourself organized and keep track of the resources that you're using in your research. Hit the back button quick. So that was a really quick tour of both the main library search box called Summon and Academic Search Premier. Again, remember, if you ever have any questions, please feel free to ask us. And you can find that, again, remember, at the help section. There's a variety of ways you can get a hold of us. So please don't hesitate. We're happy to help, especially if you run into any issues. Thanks.